Everybody, I know it's been a while since I've done an updated video. I'm back in Canada. For those of you who don't know, I'm back with my mother. We're just reuniting, and also my brother, and just catching up and making up for lost time, and just reacclimating myself to the city and figuring out what I want to do with myself now. I did get to do my dream job of working in animation, and then I went into VFX for a little bit, and it was really fun and interesting. I learned a lot. I'm not sure if I'm done with it yet. I may still want to go back into it, but due to COVID, it's put a halt on that kind of work for now, as the film industry and everything's taking a while to figure out how they're going to film and do all their projects with social distancing and their fear of COVID. So yeah, there's also a little stress to it too that makes me hesitant to want to do it, and politics that I'm not keen on. I mean, I've been an entrepreneur for such a long time, and I've made videos for such a long time, and now I'm trying to have quote unquote a normal life, but don't really know what that is, and I've got still all this kind of creativity and ideas in me, and I need to do something with it. And still also those ideas that I put out on video that garnered me a bunch of attention, is I still need to, like, it's still there, it's not gone. I'm just trying to figure out what I can do with it so that I feel better with how I'm sharing this information, more responsible, if you will. Because I know how much it impacts people's lives and how much I can influence people too. So what I'm looking into doing is script writing, turning them into scripts, and TV series, animation, and I've met some friends here that are also script writers and are working on TV series, and I'm going to be collaborating with them because I've shared with them some of my ideas of a show I'd like to do, and Vancouver's a great place to do that. And yeah, it's going to be very big, it's going to be very unique, and I'm going to basically give you a little hint about it, just a teeny bit. It's going to combine every single fantasy sci-fi genre out there. We're going to see how they all connect, basically. And we're going to touch on not just past lives, but also the consequences of remembering past lives, but also future lives, multidimensional lives, lives in between lives. We're going to explore those parallels and make sense, if there is, of how those intertwine within us, how they influence us, how we're shaping it, and so on. So, I mean, it's basically my poetry book, which is out of print now, and I bought the last couple copies. I will look into, I still don't quite know, so if you do know how I can get access to those copies so I can republish them, let me know. I lost my password on CreateSpace, so I cannot even get anything near getting back into it, so I have to figure that out, how to do it. I do have the original on my computer, so I say so a lot right now. But yeah, it's going to be like everybody I talk to about the idea and the characters, they get really excited, and they feel that I have something. And well, these stories have been with me for a long time, and I guess that's what I am as well. I'm a storyteller, so I want to embrace that. But I just don't want people to create a religion out of it, like what happened before. I'm not necessarily trying to educate people except through my story, because that's also something I've always done. I just have this tendency to share everything about my life, the most private things as well, to the point that I'm super vulnerable on camera. But I feel that that is just who I am, and maybe if I can share these things, that maybe I could be more understood by people, and other people would feel less alone, know that they're not alone, that there are other people that are struggling with these things, and maybe it could be like a map to help others. I know that everyone has their own different journey as well, but that's always what I felt so compelled to do ever since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. So I'm going to continue doing that. There are some things that just don't change within us, and yeah, not much else going in my life. I'm just like reconnecting with some old friends. Still single. hard to find the right person, particularly in Vancouver. It's probably one of the hardest places to be single, according to some survey. Who knows if it's true, but I mean, so far I've seen that with all my friends that are single and other people too, that the dating apps and all of that, it's just, people are so flaky here. It should be the dandruff city. Like, what's the point of matching and not really talking with each other? I don't get it. But that's how it is, and yeah, I'm just taking it one step at a time. And yes, I'm still working on my documentary film, and that's going really good. We have several producers interested all over Europe and also in Quebec. So as soon as we have some sort of leeway and lift with COVID, then I can travel and finish filming it and release it to everybody. But I can't give you a date yet because we just don't know when that's going to be. Everything's so uncertain. And I hope everybody's staying safe and has used this time during like this quarantine time to be able to do all the things that you've always wanted to do that you've never had the time to do, and also to like really get to spend quality time with the people that you usually don't get to see because you're consumed with work. I think that's really neat that parents now can spend lots of time with their family, with their kids, and just really get to know each other and really get to know ourselves. It's kind of cool in the way that time has stopped. For me, I was struggling a lot with being back here and the pace of life because Portugal and Bali was so much slower. It was like 50 years back in time, horse and carriage, cobblestone roads as well, and just no one was in a rush. And here it's so hectic and dog eat dog, and I just can't stand that now. I'm really sensitive to that, and so because of COVID, everything slowed down so much, and the roads were completely empty. And I went on several road trips and did a bunch of hikes and visited waterfalls, kind of a thing, and just kind of enjoyed this sort of pace and looking at the good things that are coming out of it, as well as all the really difficult things for a lot of people, our economy and our health and our fears and all of that. And so we need to kind of see some of the things that we're benefiting from this and how this is shaping us through time and space. And I also, one other really amazing thing that I've seen that came out of COVID is how much we've cleaned up the pollution, the amount of damage we've done to the ozone layer, and in just a short amount of time, just a couple months of nobody driving and just everyone staying home and laying low, which is like Bali. Reminds me of the Day of Silence, where it was just 2 days where we weren't allowed to go out or do anything, and even the airport shut down. But yeah, it's we've cleaned up a lot of our atmosphere and pollution. I mean, there's still a lot more, but it gave us a bit more time for our planet, basically. And if we go into another quarantine, which is possible, if it's going to be a seasonal thing, we don't know, but maybe that is also a good thing for the planet and a good thing for people psychologically too, because a lot of people don't know how to live with themselves. I mean, we are sentenced to ourselves 24/7, and so we should be ourselves' best friends, but it's very hard. I know that our mind isn't the kindest home, and I hope that this can help us to learn more about ourselves and how we work, because that's always been a passion and a theme and throughout my whole life, regardless of what I've done and the different shapes and forms it's taken. It's always been about self-discovery and how can I have this harmonious life within myself. How can I make my imagination rich and kind inside? And how can we learn to do the same thing? I mean, to me, it's like, you know, we want to go to other planets, but like being able to know what it's like to inside someone else's mind or be able to manage that is like an alien world in itself, and very, very fascinating to understand our patterns. So that part of me is still there too, and just staying inquisitive and seeing what else life is going to show us, and this kind of ride that we're all in together, and watching people stand up for so many things. And it's it's pretty neat to witness our own becoming, isn't it? So, yeah, I can go on and on and on, but I used to make videos that were like over an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, yeah, and I guess I can continue to make updates here and there. I'm making updates for my film, but yeah, I hope everyone's doing well, and take care. Bye.